Good morning, everyone. I hope you're rested. I'm exhausted. The draft always takes it out of me. When I was a kid, it was my favorite. It was my favorite weekend of the year. It was better than Christmas. I was on JV baseball as a sophomore at O'Dowd, which was a really good team. It was like prestigious. We lost one game that year, and I played hooky for an entire weekend. I said I was sick. I was just watching the Niners draft. Quame Harris, was it? I forget. Could have been, might have been Quame Harris. Anyway, I love the draft. Now I have to cover it, and by Sunday, I'm exhausted. So I might be a little low ebb today, but I'm still taking your calls. I'm still here, baby. We're going to go to 11. I started 15 minutes early because I want to go over the UDFAs, the undrafted free agents. The Niners have signed 4 of them reportedly. I've done a little research on them. I have some takes on the vision for why, how, and I'm tired. All right, let me try again. I'm going to go over the undrafted free agents and tell you a little bit about them. Each one. How about that? All right, starting with the wide receiver, Austin Watkins. All right. All right, Austin Watkins. He's interesting. 6'2", 207. Ran a 4.52 40-yard dash. Pretty good height, weight, speed for a guy who didn't get drafted. Sammy Watkins' cousin. So we got those bloodlines. Good hand-eye coordination, makes contested catches. Doesn't really have the juice to win outside, but is really good at getting inside releases and catching passes over the middle. Who does this sound like to you? Contested catch guy, pretty big, good hand-eye coordination. Doesn't give you much after the catch. But again, this is an undrafted free agent. He's not going to give you everything. Who does this sound like to you? He's in the Senior Bowl. Had 50 in 2019. He had a monster year, 57 catches, 1,092 yards, 6 touchdowns. Look, I'm not an Austin Watkins expert, but just looking at his frame, his scouting report, what his strengths are, I think it's pretty clear that the Niners are hoping this guy is Kendrick Bourne's replacement. You guys all got it. You guys, I see KB 2.0. Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting. We all knew the Niners were going to try to get the next Kendrick Bourne at some point in this draft. I was thinking, they're going to do it in round 2, maybe round 3. They really value Kendrick Bourne that much. They gave him a second-round tender. He was a crucial part of their offense. But at the same time, they didn't draft Kendrick Bourne. They signed Kendrick Bourne as an undrafted free agent. And I'm sure Kyle Shanahan, who sees himself as a wide receiver scout, former wide receiver, says, I can get the next Kendrick Bourne. And maybe he can. This guy seems to have a whole lot more going for him than, Juwan Jennings, the 7th-round pick last year, who seemed like he was supposed to be the Kendrick Bourne replacement. Juwan Jennings runs like a 4.7 or something. He was not good in training camp. I don't know what the Niners thought they saw in him. This guy seems like he has legit athleticism. He's faster than Kendrick Bourne. He's bigger than Kendrick Bourne. We'll see if he's as good as Kendrick Bourne because Bourne's a starting wide receiver on the Patriots now. So we'll see, but that's the vision. Austin Watkins, Kendrick Bourne 2.0. All right, tight end, Josh Peterson. This guy's also interesting. He also has some bloodlines, not to a former player, former coach too. Josh Peterson's dad is Doug Peterson, which already makes me skeptical about this signing. Why did you sign Doug Peterson, son? He's a tight end. He's 6'4". He's 234. Weighs 234. He ran a 4.8. 2 years ago, he had a really good season. 43 catches, 567 yards, 9 touchdowns. Didn't score any touchdowns this past season. Here's the way I look at it. I've seen the Niners bring in a lot of tight ends throughout the years. And this is what happens. They get beat out by Ross Dwelly every time. Charlie Warner, Daniel Helm, this guy, Josh Peterson. I'm sure he's, fine. But he's not going to be as good as Ross Dwelly. If the Niners are looking to upgrade that number 2 tight end spot, they probably didn't. But who cares? Ross Dwelly's really good. The most underrated player in sports. And now Josh Peterson, to me, see that here, look. Josh, I'm sorry if you're watching, and I really haven't watched you very much, but this is my conspiracy theory here. I'm guessing that you're going to be a coach one day, like your dad. And if things don't work out In the NFL, just an undrafted free agent. I mean, betting against you isn't outrageous. I think you'll be on a coaching staff real soon. Maybe the 49ers coaching staff. Maybe they're getting a look at you as a coach before you're out there on the open market, because I'm guessing you probably have more value as a coach than as a player. I'm just saying you're an undrafted free agent. Anyway, you might beat out Ross Dwelley, although you have to wake up pretty early to do that. I think the Niners are grooming a coach. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy's on their coaching staff. I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Mullins is on their coaching staff in a few years too. The Niners are really good at grooming young coaches, developing them. So that's what I'm thinking here. I don't think they're actually going to, Doug Peterson's son's actually going to do anything in the NFL, but maybe as a coach. So only 4 undrafted free agents so far this year. I don't think this one's going to make the team. Let's go to the linebacker, though. This guy's interesting. Elijah Sullivan. This guy went to Kansas. He's a linebacker, but he weighs 215 pounds. He's 6 feet, 215 pounds. And you read his NFL draft profile on NFL.com, and they're like, he's hits really hard. He's ferocious. He's just really small. And all the negatives are like, what you would imagine NFL Network would say about a 215-pound linebacker. But the funny thing is, that's where the league is going. The Niners are ahead of the curve on that. They've been using small linebackers for years, and they like that. They're looking for that. So when they see this kid, they're not like, oh, but he's only 215 pounds. He's kind of a safety in a linebacker's body. He's a linebacker in a safety's body. They're like, no. This is the modern linebacker. Look at the guy they drafted as a UDFA. They signed as a UDFA a few years ago, Demetrius Flanagan-Foles. That guy was a safety at Arizona. They were like, no, you're going to be a linebacker in the NFL. Signed him. Didn't really bulk him up that much, just developed him on the practice squad, and now he's one of the weak side linebackers on the team. Also, Marcel Harris, the strong safety, has become a weak side linebacker on the team. So it seems like this is exactly, they know what they're looking for. A 215-pound linebacker fits. I saw a stat from Josh Dubow that only 24 linebackers got drafted in the entire draft. That shows you what the league is doing. The league is getting on offense, spreading out, speed over power, and these defenses are taking linebackers off the field as much as possible and replacing them with guys like this. Former strong safeties, DBs all over the field. DBs are up, linebackers down, DBs up, LBs down, as we say on the block. DBs up, LBs down. That's how it is. This is how it is, baby. So Elijah Sullivan, you're a linebacker trapped in a safety's body. Perfect. That's exactly what the Niners are looking for. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy makes the team in a couple of years. Josh says we definitely made the right pick at 3. What do you think about the rest of the draft class? I really like the draft. I've been talking about it. I think it was a hell of a draft. I mean, real quick. I liked it's ultimately going to be judged by the Trey Lance pick. They traded up. They traded so much draft capital. I just saw Brett Osborne, who I've had on the channel a few times, posted what the Niners paid to get Trey Lance. It was like more than 4,000 draft points. I mean, to put that in perspective, the Jaguars who had the number 1 pick. The number 1 pick is worth 3,000. So the Niners, there's more pressure on Trey Lance than there is on Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, which is kind of unfair. But that's the way it is for him. And if he isn't great at some point in the next 3-4 years, this draft isn't going to be given a very high grade. But I think he has the potential. I really like him. I would have taken him too. So I like that pick. And then what they did after that, 2 picks on the offensive line, I like it. I never thought they would have done that. They needed to do that. They were honest about their weaknesses. They weren't last year. Last year, they were like, we don't have any weaknesses. We should have won the Super Bowl. We're just going to replace Emmanuel Sanders and DeForest Buckner. Boom, run it back. Well, now you won 6 games. This year, they're like, no, we really do have weaknesses. Cornerback is unacceptable. Offensive line is unacceptable. Quarterback is unacceptable. Those 3 positions. We all agreed on it. They agreed to. They knocked them out and didn't just get 1. They doubled up at each one. 2 offensive linemen, 2 running backs. I liked it. 3 defensive backs. The only thing is, I feel like both running backs have starter potential. Both offensive linemen have starter potential. The quarterback has Pro Bowl potential. The DBs, they just seem like depth guys. But what do I know? I don't know. And I felt like the Niners at some point in the future need to actually draft a good corner in the first or the second round, someone special. And they haven't done it since I was in high school. They really haven't drafted a good corner since what? Ronnie Lott? No. Eric Davis. Like 30 years. So they should probably try to do that. They didn't really try this year. They're like, we'll get some depth guys at the end of after the top 100 picks. Great. And what they tried to do at corner, they did it. But Jason Verrett gets hurt. This team's going to be in trouble. So I like the draft. That's my only quibble with it. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. All right, let's get to the last undrafted free agent, and then I'll take some calls. Justin Hilliard. This guy is 230 pounds. This guy is more of a classic linebacker build, but that's funny because that means he can't play linebacker anymore. He can't cover. You can't have him covering running backs and tight ends. No. Also, this guy, he was a 5-star recruit out of high school. He went to Ohio State. But then he got hurt a million times. He injured his Achilles. He tore his biceps multiple times. He was at Ohio State for 6 years. And so he's got pedigree, but he's old and he's got injuries. Now, he was an undrafted free agent. Oh, well. If he makes the team, it's not going to be as a linebacker. It's going to be as a special teams guy. Apparently at Ohio State, he was a special teams ace, punt coverage, kick coverage. That's how he's going to make it, running down in a straight line and crashing into people. And you know what? You can make a career for yourself that way. That's a valuable skill. The Niners could use more players who do that. It seems like now if you're in that 230-pound range and you're not a pass rusher, then you're a special teams guy because linebackers are becoming smaller and smaller by the year. And if you can't cover quick little slot receivers, tight ends, running backs, it's special teams for you. So, Justin, if you make the team, it's going to be by causing some huge collisions on punt coverage. He could be like Blake Costanzo back in the day. You remember Blake Costanzo on the Harbaugh teams? That was the punt coverage ace. So that's my impression of Justin Hilliard. Don't expect him to be playing next to Fred Warner at any point, but he could be tackling punt returners. That would be useful. So let's switch gears and let you guys tell me what you think about this draft. So hold on. Putting it in the description. I didn't take too long. I didn't talk too much. I don't think. Boom. All right. It's in the description. Boom. In the comment section. See how quick you guys are in the draw. Boom. Undrafted free agents, man. Oh, the Bay Area baller. What's up, man? How you doing?
Grant.
What is up?
We got our quarterback.
Yep. What do you think?
I'm excited. You know, we talked so much about the quarterback position, and at first I was thinking, I want Justin Fields, Zach Wilson. But the more you watch the tape, Trey Lance has a combination of the tools and the mental capacity, right? Because with Justin, he doesn't check the ball down. Trey Lance isn't afraid to check the ball down.
That's my problem with Justin Fields. And you know Kyle Shanahan referenced that in his press conference.
Yes.
He did.
And on my last Cohn phone, I referenced how I was preparing for this pick, watching the Redskins 2012 with that dynamic offense that Kyle Shanahan created. And I'm fired up. Yes, you were speculating on what could we see with Trey Lance. Yes, we're going to see the pistol. We're going to see the QB power. We're going to see the read option. This offense is going to be dynamic, and I'm so excited for it. You're right. We might run the ball 60% of the time.
They might run for 3,000 yards like Baltimore did last year.
Yes.
Why would you not? And they're like, oh, Trey Lance doesn't throw that much. You know, he only threw like 16, 17, 18 times a game at North Dakota State. What do you think he's going to do here next season, man? They're not going to be throwing that much. They'll throw a little bit. They'll throw when they can, and he's going to have some really impressive play action bombs. But, dude, they're going to run the ball so much, so much, and they're going to be really good at it. He might be their best runner. This is the way Lamar Jackson is. That doesn't mean he's not a quarterback. He's just a freaky athlete, and people don't realize that.
Absolutely. And I love what you just said, because defenses are going to have to honor this run. We have a plethora of running backs. We're going to be rotating bodies. All these guys, Trey Sermon, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, you give them all 7 carries. If one of them's hot, you might ride the hot hand, but what was proven last year is we don't have a workhorse we could give 15, 20 carries. I wanted that to be Raheem last year, and he's just not that guy.
Yep. And you could knock Kyle for not winning the Super Bowls by not giving the ball to like a Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette iced that game for the Bucs. And in his 2 losses in the Super Bowl, he had leads in the second half and didn't have that kind of a running back. And that's kind of his fault. I mean, he liked those tiny little scat backs. And now it seems like he's evolving. I give him a ton of credit. Trey Sermon is way different. And he's the kind of guy who could win you a Super Bowl if you have the lead in the second half.
Absolutely. Hey, I want to touch on this corner we drafted from Michigan, Ambry Thomas. It feels a bit, I don't want to say boomer bust, but this guy's relatively unproven. He was a 1-year starter at Michigan. He was an opt-out. He's only had 57 targets on him, but he's got all the tools, right?
Yeah, that's good.
5'11". I saw PFF had him at 6 foot, whatever. But the 4.37, the 38-inch vertical, he's got all the tools to be a premier corner. It's just we haven't seen a ton of them.
And he has some ball production, right? He has some interceptions too. He's not just an athlete. He's intriguing. And when you're taking a corner at pick 102, you're probably going to have to take a guy like that. But hey, at least he's got the potential.
Yeah, there was that. I wonder in the press conference, John Lynch kept talking about that corner Adebo. It's like we didn't even pick this guy. He mentioned this guy Adebo 2 or 3 times. It's like
it's not on your team, dude.
We didn't get this guy, John.
Yeah, I know he went to Stanford, and you feel like a kinship with him, but he's on someone else's team. Yeah.
Hey, I'm fired up for Niner Nation. Shout out to all the Cohn heads. We got our QB, Grant. I'm going to let this thing roll in. You have a good rest of your day.
Hey, to kick it off with some energy because I'm over here like, hey, man, I'm kind of tired.
Hey, you know what?
Tired of that.
I got it. Before I forget, I got to let the Cohn heads know on my YouTube, Bay Area Baller 18, I did a breakdown on Kyle Shanahan and how he used the mobile RG3. So check it out on my YouTube. I was ahead of the game.
That's right. Check that out. And real quick before you go, I think what's cool about this run game, it's not going to be just like 2012. It's going to have a lot of that. But Trey Lance can also execute all the stuff that Jimmy does from under center. It's going to be the most diverse, voluminous run game we've ever seen. It's going to have everything.
It's absolutely evolved
crazy.
Because you weren't seeing the jet sweeps and a lot of the stuff that he's added into the offense recently. So this thing is going to be dynamic.
He's not only a pistol quarterback. You have to put him there sometime because he's going to be good at it. But you can put him under center too. The play action, the bootlegs. It's going to be so cool, man. I can't wait. It's
going to be fun.
Good to see you, man. Yeah, man.
All right,
good
Grant.
To see you. Take care. Sebastian, where you at? What's up, man? You're muted. You just got to press the little mic button. Then we're good. How you doing?
Hey, I was thinking. Do you think Kyle Shanahan learned his lesson about O-line? Because he already messed up one franchise QB from injuries. Do you think he drafted these O-linemen to help him out and make sure he doesn't get injured? Because you're trying to not have another Jimmy situation, right?
I think he has learned his lesson. I mean, that's kind of the takeaway I get from this draft is he's honestly reflected on his shortcomings and looked to improve them. I mean, the offensive line was terrible. And all I heard was, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Okay, well, their actions said that they thought it was that bad. They drafted 2 of them. 2 running backs. That's cool. 3 corners, 3 DBs. I like it. It seems like he's actually evolved. And most importantly, he didn't take Mac Jones. He took a new kind of quarterback, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I love that he didn't take Mac Jones, of course. Yeah, and these O-linemen will definitely help with the run game, help him out too. He doesn't have to throw it as much,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm
takes the pressure off of him. I mean, if you're going to take a quarterback and not take any offensive linemen, I felt like that was really, really arrogant. Like, you're really just going to blame Jimmy Garoppolo and Nick Mullins for all that pressure last year, bringing in a kid and say, hey, it's not going to be an issue. You're going to fix it. Hey, man, you're setting them up for failure. But they're not doing that. They're actually protecting their investment. Smart. I like it. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah. All right.
All right, man. Good call.
Yeah. Peace out.
Thanks for calling in. What's up, Sardal? You muted, baby.
So my first question is, should the 49ers re-sign defensive end Ansah, Ezekiel?
No, they don't need him. He gets hurt all the time. Hold on, I'm muting you because there's a echo. No, he gets hurt too much. He's old. He makes a lot of money. You give him like $1 million and then he gets hurt and then he sits on the bench. No, but what's your next question?
And my second question is, could Trey Lance be the best quarterback of all time in 2021? And could prove that he has the qualities?
The best quarterback of all time?
Yeah, Trey Lance.
Wow. I don't think he's going to be the best quarterback of all time by this year, but he might be the best quarterback in the league in a few years. Hey, Chardal, man, you got to get some earphones because the echo is just immense. So next time, see if you can get some earphones, all right? All right, man. I'll see you around. Sai, how you doing?
Hey, Grant. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man.
Yeah, finally, all the excitement for the past 1.5 months culminated in the draft.
They just took all of your advice in this draft. Are you flattered?
No, I mean, it's like, for me, the fun part is, of course, having the conversation with you. So I'm not an expert by any means, but but that was the fun part. But of course, I'm super glad that they ended up taking Trey Lance, like we have been discussing the past month. So that is definitely exciting. A few sort of big picture items that I wanted to discuss with you, Grant. The first one is, of course, I don't know if you remember, but maybe almost 2 months ago, we were talking about 49ers and Kyle Shanahan going all in on Deshaun Watson when we were still going after that.
Feels like years ago, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Deshaun Watson, yeah.
Yeah, and at that time, a couple of things that we discussed one was how Kyle needs the superstar QB if he needs to get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
because he really needs a QB who can take it to the next level, have multiple winning seasons, MVP QB. And I finally feel that Lance definitely has the potential. If he had taken Mac Jones, I mean, there was no shot at it. Right now, at least with Lance, you have the potential to do that. And the second part of that was also that how every other second team in the league is now running the Kyle Shanahan offense, and the defense is going to adapt to
no question
that scheme. So that's why adding this run element and everything that we've been talking about, how dynamic this offense can be, because this is just not read option, right? This is, I think, we have probably not seen something like this where you have the play action pass, you have all the jet sweeps, orbit motion, plus
the pistol, plus the read option. It's gonna be the most diverse run game we've ever seen.
Exactly. So I feel that was one thing that really excites me about it, is like how we can get to the next level.
We're going to see this Mike McDaniel, who's now the offensive coordinator, really express his creativity. It's going to be cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sort of what amazed me about this was, like, I thought that Bill Belichick was the one that was going to go after this. So I was extremely surprised that he didn't take Justin Fields and other took Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Because I was pretty confident that once his number 3 pick came in, Bill was going to jump and get Justin Fields, because he was getting. I mean, we have seen Josh McDaniels do that before with Tim Tebow, and now with Cam Newton. And I was super surprised that he didn't go and get Justin Fields. That was the other thought, and then, of course, what also impressed me was, like, it looks like Lance was the guy all the way through, because and it almost feels like the rest of the league knew it, because if you look at Panthers actions, Broncos actions, like, and the fact that Fields and Mac Jones were not picked, it feels like everybody else knew when Niners jumped that it was going to be for Trey Lance, because all the other people just backed out of it.
That's true. My only question, though, is that, like, Lynch said one of the last couple of days that they made up their mind on Monday. Did you hear him say that?
Yeah.
They made their final decision on Monday. And that's the day that Kyle Shanahan looked crazy. So I'm like, what was that about? That's my only question.
So I've also been thinking about it, but what I feel is, I think Kyle, and I mean, this is just a speculation, right? But if I was Kyle and I already made up my decision that it was going to be Lance, over the next 1 month, I would want to tell that I like the other person and see all the other reasons that come to me, like on trying to convince me why I should pick Lance, because that's a real brilliant way if Kyle actually did that, of doing things, right? Because if you fall in love with one person, it's very easy to sort of get blinded
Shut
by all
down.
the other people.
Yep.
Shut down. So you almost want to say the other thing, and then let all the other people, your scouts and all the other things that came out, like, hey, Kyle, you should be taking Lance. You should be taking Lance. So he wanted to hear the reasons from all the other people. He wanted to hear what the rest of the league was saying. So if Kyle actually did that, I thought that would have been a master stroke from him.
And we'll never know. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
All that matters now is whether or not he's good. If he's good, Kyle will get credit. And if he didn't want him and had to be talked to him, it won't matter. Because what I've heard from my sources is that Bill Walsh wasn't that into Joe Montana coming out of college. He wanted Phil Simms. When Phil Simms was taken, Walsh went into a little mini depression. It was someone else in the organization that was like, there's a pretty good quarterback we could take in round 3 from Notre Dame. So sometimes it happens this way. It doesn't matter. Just coach him up, Kyle.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we never know. Maybe if he becomes great, a book will be written one day. But I was just curious that maybe Kyle was just playing with all the other people to see what they were doing.
Possible.
One of the things that stood out to me from the press conference, Grant, was the fact that Kyle referred to Lance as the CEO. I know that we have talked about this in the past, right? How if you look at Drew Brees, Kirk Cousins, all these guys, they have that CEO mindset and behavior. Whereas Jimmy, as much as he was liked, he never had that. So I felt that Kyle explicitly bringing that out was another knock on, like, hey, he really wants a QB who has more of that CEO mindset and personality.
Right, because that's leadership and that's decision making. Someone who's a CEO makes executive decisions and does them well, and that's not what Jimmy does. That's not what Jimmy does. So you can see Kyle really valuing that trait, which he didn't used to talk about. Decision making. Exactly.
Yeah. But we have talked about it before, like, and it was good for him to sort of bring that out unprompted, right? Like, hey, this guy is a CEO, and that's really what you need from a QB.
And when he said it, it's like, that's something you've never said about Jimmy Garoppolo.
Exactly.
Right there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And just the last one again, Grant, overall on the draft, what I was really glad was they didn't want to make this, hey, run it back revenge tour, but they actually went and fixed all the problems we thought they should have fixed last year. So in some sense, at least they accepted some of the things. I mean, even last year coming out of the Super Bowl, we felt the O-line need to be upgraded, the QB need to be upgraded, cornerback need to be upgraded. So they just went and took care of all those. And the other interesting thing that I found was most of the people that they drafted, they were senior people who went to Senior Bowl, who were 4-star recruits.
That's right.
I was just like looking at the resume. So they definitely
almost everyone except Lance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that guy from Michigan who played only a year, but most of them they have been a 3-year starter. So I think they definitely played it athletic, but people who have tape, especially in this year with all the COVID. Right. I thought they did a really good job from that perspective.
Mitigating risk.
Mitigating the risk and
absolutely
filling the needs and acknowledging the mistakes. So overall, I thought it was a phenomenal draft.
I thought it was an excellent draft too. I usually find a million reasons not to like their drafts, but every time they were like, they did something, I was like, yeah, it's probably what I would have done too. It's a good move. The Trey Sermon pick, I think, is terrific. Finding a way to trade down and then trade back up and create a pick that wasn't there for a running back who probably shouldn't have been available. Really good pick.
Yeah, exactly. And think about it, right? I mean, all this while we've been talking about the run game, how good the 49ers have had a good run game, and they didn't have a cowbell running back, like bell running back. Like, I mean, this is the first time they're actually getting it. Like, I mean, till now they went with Jerick McKinnon and all these kind of players, fast players, cat backs.
Yeah.
But now they have a real bell.
The ironic thing is Trey Lance could be the catalyst to Kyle Shanahan going to the Super Bowl and winning Super Bowls, but Trey Sermon could be the reason he doesn't blow the Super Bowl the next time he's in it and has a lead in the second half. That's the kind of guy he needs to win that thing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Wear him down. Sai, thank you very much. Always a pleasure. Great call.
Same here.
What's up, Jose? How you doing?
Doing good. About yourself, Grant?
I'm doing great, man.
So, I mean, obviously, like most fans, you know, we like the Trey Lance thing, but I really want to get into these other picks because I think this is where I think this is the best 49er draft we've had in like a really long time. Because you have guys that I already see their roles. I mean, the guy in the second round out of Notre Dame, I thought it was a little bit of a reach, but when you watch him, I mean, first of all, Notre Dame and Alabama are like O-line you.
Right.
Those guys come out every year with O linemen. But I think right there, right guard, plug him in right there next to McGlinchey, who is also a Notre Dame guy.
Yep.
And then third round, you had a couple guys like the Trey Sermon, who can be your number one guy. And I saw a tweet on Facebook that I guess is pretty interesting on why he would take 2 running backs in this draft, because all the running backs on our roster next year are on 1-year deals.
Boom.
Gallman, Wilson, and Mostert, all 1-year deals.
First of all, Gallman has 0 guaranteed money.
Right, exactly.
I didn't see it. I didn't see the details when they signed him. I got released recently, and Vetman zero guaranteed. He's not making the team.
Right, and I feel the same way. And Sermon, the running back out of Ohio State, I feel like he can be that. Even though I know they all carry the ball together, I feel like he can be the first down back. The guy that starts the game and whatnot, and gets majority of the carries.
I feel like it kind of depends, like what kind of formation they want to be in. Like when Trey Lance is under center, great to have Raheem Mostert. I mean, you can't do better than that. But when he's in the pistol or the shotgun, that's not really suited to Raheem Mostert. That's much more Trey Sermon, in my opinion. Jeff Wilson,
like
Trey
Alfred
Sermon.
Morris, like back in
Yeah, and Jeff Wilson Jr. too. Like he's going to be a better version of Jeff Wilson.
But Jeff can kind of do a little bit of everything, though. That's the thing about
I like Jeff.
Yeah, he can do a little bit of everything. And
he's 200 pounds, man. Like Trey Sermon is 215. He's actually going to be durable.
He runs like he's 230, but he's only 205, 210. And that's
he is upright though, which I think maybe turned off some teams. But again, Shanahan doesn't care about upright runners because so much is outside the tackles where you're not getting blasted by defensive tackles or
exactly
middle linebackers. Yeah.
And then so the 2 corners we got, Thomas out of Michigan, I feel like he's a guy that can be depth. I mean, both of them, I look at them as depth in general. But I feel like
agree. That's exactly how I look at them. They're good depth pieces.
But Thomas can be probably the higher potential, and he's also a dude that can play both outside and inside. The dude in Oregon, I see him as a strictly slot dude.
Me too.
That's how I look at him. And then the other offensive tackle, Mayfield.
More.
His potential is at best, I think, a swing tackle for us, or even potentially a starting left guard when Tomlinson leaves, or Tomlinson.
Tomlinson, yeah.
And then as well the other running back, I feel like that's Raheem Mostert's replacement right there.
He's got the 4.3 speed, and
he has that.
Mostert's almost 30 years old. So, yeah.
And especially if you have those guys continually under contract, and say Raheem Mostert and all those guys that we mentioned earlier all leave, then you kind of got your lightning and thunder right there, because that dude, he said he models his game after Kamara. I mean, and I hope that's the case, because Kamara is awesome. But when the Saints were running game was at their best when they had Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara, and I think Sermon can be the bigger back, and then the other guy that we got out of Louisiana Tech can be the Alvin Kamara scat back, on third down and whatnot.
One thing I noticed about these 2 running backs when I watched their clips is that they're both primarily in the pistol. And what's cool about the pistol is you can do the zone read stuff, but you can also do outside zone, get it and just turn. I mean, it's easy. And that's how they did it with Alfred Morris 10 years ago.
Exactly.
I feel like you can kind of see the vision of what this offense is going to look like.
And then last but not least, my favorite pick out of all these dudes was the USC strong safety that we got. For the value,
All-American.
That was the best value pick right there for us. That dude is literally Jaquasi Tartt's replacement. And the reason why
he's healthy.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
Like the only reason why he fell so far was because of health. It was like you said, the collarbone and the shoulder blade and whatnot. But his play style and the way he was used at USC was literally just like Polamalu.
Yeah.
He's a great value version of that. So I really like him a lot. I think if he stays healthy, he can be the strong safety for the next 10 years, especially in this scheme that we run over in San Fran. And then to Trey Lance, finally, I mean, I really love that. Like Kyle is like you've already been saying, that we're addressing issues that we've had in the past, TVs and an interior line, or just line in general. We're getting a little bigger, and one thing I find interesting is that considering the fact that Kyle's already shown he's willing to be versatile with his running game. I mean, even with Jimmy G, he already does a lot of power, trap, counters, and stuff like that with the smaller guys that we did have. I mean, just knowing you can also do that in pistol and with Trey Lance whenever he does start and whatnot. whenever that is. I don't know if Kyle's even going to use them in packages. I mean, you would assume at some point he would, just so you can get a feel for him.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, like, and you've
Red
heard
zone, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like
Yeah.
QB power and whatnot.
You could let him throw too. I mean, he's not like he's a running back. He could throw too. I think like there could be like give him a series, or you give him 2 runs, 2 throws, 2 play action bombs a game, something like that.
Exactly, I 100% agree. Or like if it's like in the 4th quarter where a game's kind of out of hand, you let him get in there. And
Hell yeah,
yeah.
But honestly, I expect this dude to be the starter relatively quick. I don't think it's going to take that long. Jimmy's not that good. Jimmy's not that good.
Well, that's the league now, though. Is a lot of these younger dudes coming out of college start sooner than they used to 10, 15 years ago. You know, I mean, the ideal situation is to let him sit behind Jimmy if Jimmy can stay healthy and play at a high level. But you know, majority of us will probably think he's not going to be that type of quarterback. It's all going to just depend on Jimmy and his play, honestly. And I just like Trey Lance to the point of where, like you've heard me say this, that he gives you that Dak Prescott feel, you know, CEO type of feel. But he, in my opinion, he has the potential of like a Josh Allen. You know, dude with a big arm, a lot of athleticism to be able to run the ball. And people tend to forget, you know, as much as Josh Allen, as well as he looked last year, people forget that for 2 years, his first 2 years in the league, everyone called him a running back. Like he was considered like Lamar Jackson because he didn't really see the field that well his first 2 years. And then it also doesn't help that you get a number 1 receiver like Stephon Diggs in your 3rd year to really take your game to the next level as a passer. Where I think Trey Lance can develop faster than a Josh Allen in that sense is that do you like, as an offensive coordinator, Daboll better than Shanahan? I mean, in my opinion, I don't. You know, I take a Kyle Shanahan. So I think in that aspect, Trey Lance can develop faster and probably even be a better quarterback than Josh Allen sooner rather than later.
He's definitely got the potential. Jose, good to see you.
Plug real quick. Talk to you on Monday, man, on the big breakdown with Jose Ledesma.
That's right.
Have a good day, man.
You too, man. Have a good one. Real quick, dude says, chances we trade for Julio or OBJ, odd we never drafted a receiver. I don't think it's happening, man. They got Jimmy Garoppolo still making $27 million. They're going to run the ball 8,000 times next year. I don't think so, but I don't know. What do you think, man? What's on your mind? You don't have to talk about this. What's on your mind?
I'm good. How are you, Grant?
I'm tired. I'm all right. I'm all right.
Several quick points, and I'll let I'll go off to let other callers come in. First point is, I do like that they beefed up the offensive line and the secondary, because I believe a lot of the fans have been concerned about the depth and about how the performance of the offensive line was last season, and we don't have any cornerbacks if we didn't draft any this year.
Yep.
And and one thing I was wondering is, do you see potential second free agency possibly getting us a McGlinchey replacement, or is that something that's not likely just because of salary cap issues with other teams? And
I don't think it's likely. I think the Niners like McGlinchey and they believe in him. And I think maybe they feel that the reason he had such a down, I'm just guessing here, but I feel like they feel partially responsible for his down year. Because look, he came in light. So did every offensive lineman. So did Justin School. I mean, it might not have been just a McGlinchey thing. He got the brunt of it because he was the top 10 pick and not Justin School. But maybe the Niners were like, hey, like, we did not do a good job of preparing our offensive linemen. We had no OTAs. We had no mini camp, and they came in light. Let's not run him out of town because we might be able to help him in the offseason and get a better season. I'm just thinking that that's why they haven't been harder on him. Maybe that's legit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do agree with you on one thing. You may have said this yesterday with Jack, that to me, the best friend of a young quarterback is a beefy offensive line and a stout running game, because I remember when the Steelers drafted Ben Roethlisberger, they still had Deuce Staley and Jerome Bettis.
Yeah.
They were able to take a lot of the pressure off Ben the first year, and I believe after that, Ben got them to the Super Bowl against the Seahawks, and they won that one.
And let's look at other examples, like Andrew Luck. Could have been one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but the Colts never got him any protection, and so he's retired, and he's younger than me, which is one of the bigger travesties in the league the last 20 years, the fact that we didn't get to see a Hall of Fame career from Andrew Luck because the Colts didn't know what they were doing. So good for the 49ers.
Yes, and one last quick point. Since I live in the NFC North area, it's kind of interesting to see.
Where do you live?
I live in Northern Illinois, Rockford.
Oh, okay. You told me that, I'm sure. Anyway, you're over by Vish. No, he's not in Northern Illinois, though. I don't know.
He's in Chicago, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I don't understand the Midwest at all. Yeah, okay. All right.
So it's kind of interesting to see what's going on with those teams because I love what Detroit did. They just ran up to the podium and said, we want Sewell, which I love them for that.
Duh. Yeah. Smart pick. Yep.
I feel sorry for Justin Fields because he's going to where quarterbacks will normally wilt and die.
Every time. That's why I still kind of like everyone makes fun of Mitchell Trubisky, but I'm like, we'll never know what he could have been if he had been on any other team. But yeah, good luck, Justin. His tight end is Jimmy Graham. What are they doing over there?
I don't think Jimmy Graham's with the Bears anymore. I don't believe.
Is he not? Okay, good. So. I thought I saw anyway. What's up? So anything else we got?
Seeing some of the drama with the green and gold in the Packers with Aaron Rodgers and that whatever's going on up there, and then your favorite quarterback in the draft, Mond, being the potential replacement for Kirk Cousins. I was kind of laughed when I saw that.
Mond and Trask landed in great spots. Mond is better than Kirk Cousins. Can't wait for him to take that dude's job. And then Kyle Trask, everyone's like, hey, man, he's not that good. He has great receivers in college. He's not going to get that in the NFL. Well, now he has Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, all these guys, man. Hey, not too bad. He's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, so I kind of smirked a bit when I saw that Kirk Cousins had got a replacement coming
out. Good luck, Kirk.
I'm just hoping that this doesn't feed any ideas to Kyle about getting Kirk because some people I've heard up here say, yeah, they may cut Kirk and give him a lot of that guarantee. I'm like, because the Vikings drafted a lot of players. I think they had more than 10 draft picks this year.
Maybe the Niners will trade Trey Lance for Kirk Cousins.
No.
The best thing about Trey Lance is that we never really have to talk about Kirk Cousins again. I like that.
Yes, that's the best point about
the best part about him.
And before I go, I am wearing a polo t-shirt just to show you real quick.
Hey, extra bonus points. You're styling.
Thank you,
Grant. My wife showed me an article the other day in NY Post that said men that wear Ralph Lauren polos are more likely to cheat. I was like, what are you trying to say, first of all? Second of all, I like my Ralph Lauren polo. Third of all, I would never do that. So I was like, how could someone even write that? Anyway, you go out there and be a respectable gentleman with that polo jacket.
Thank you, Grant. You have a great week.
Later, of course. Sorry, man. I take these calls in some weird direction sometimes. People be like, hey, man, I don't know what you're talking about. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yo, what up? Hey.
Yo, what up?
I got 2 quick questions and a comment. So basically, weren't you in the draft room? Because on the last tweet yesterday, kind of similarities to what you were thinking and they were drafting. So
nah, but what I was doing, I was just Kyle would text me. He's like, hey, who do you think we should draft next? I was like, hey, man, I don't know, but how about maybe a corner, maybe a safety? Yeah. He's like, all right, got it. Appreciate you, man. Thanks. Fist bump emoji. That's how we do. That's what happened. Allegedly.
That'd be cool, though.
It would. Hey, it took him a few years to realize that I have all the right answers, but he figured it out.
Yeah. What's called? And then my 2 questions. Do you think the 49ers in this draft was going after bully people and balance at the same time? Because you see the beefing off lineman, beefy running backs, and then a little bit speed with Elijah Mitchell, and then you can a little bit see the speed in Sherman too.
No doubt, but those guys are both 215 plus. I think they're being smart. Kyle's basically run the same offense for 4 or 5 years, and it's been one of the more successful offenses. Defensive coordinators are spending so much time trying to figure out how to stop it, and they're doing a good job. They're doing better. And so Kyle needs to stay one step ahead. And now it's like, okay, you guys are so concerned about my speed and us getting to the edge with Raheem Mostert and Deebo Samuel. Well, now we're just going to gash you between the guards. Let's see you try to stop both. If you load up to stop us between the tackles, we still have Mostert. We still have Kittle. We can get you on the end. It's really going to be very interesting. And the thing that's coolest to me about this team is the best runner on the team is the quarterback. I'm not saying he's not a quarterback. He's a hell of a quarterback, but let's just be frank. He is the best athlete on the offense, the best runner on the team. They're going to have to give him 7, 8, 9 carries a game. He could be averaging 60, 70 yards a game. It's going to be very interesting. I'm not saying he's Lamar Jackson. because he has potential to be much more traditional of a quarterback, but the production early on in his career could be similar.
Some design runs too.
Yeah. Long runs, man, like big time highlight runs where he pulls away. I mean, his top speed might be faster than Jackson's.
Oof.
It's at 21 miles an hour. That's really running fast, man. It's super fast. Mostert's like 23.
Yep.
All right, man. You got the little Peloton in the back there? What's popping?
Huh?
You got the little Peloton in the back?
This exercise for your legs or whatever.
Nice.
Colin Kaepernick.
Hey, there you go. Staying in shape.
I got from the book fair.
Love it. Oh, the book fair, man. That's great, man. You got to stay reading. Got to be reading, man.
But my very last question is, do you think that – sorry.
No, I was just cracking myself up. What's up?
Okay. Do you think that – because I saw a post where RG3 was –
I saw that too.
Was saying that he's the best man.
He's like, hey, man, I would be the perfect bridge quarterback. Like, oh, you want the Niners to give you $1 million this year? RG3. I don't think it's going to happen, man. They just signed Nate Sudfeld, dude. I love that, though. I love how these veterans just casually try to give themselves jobs. Like, I would be perfect for that. Hey, man, I don't think they're interested. Don't call them. They'll call you. Good stuff, RG3.
Yeah.
They better not sign him. My God. So he can, like, sign him as a coach. They don't even give him a spot on the team. Anyway, man, I got to take some more calls. But It's always a pleasure, man.
Thank you.
See you, man. Of course. What's up, Raymond?
What's up, G?
What's up, G?
Hey, all right. I think in this draft right here, it's probably the most physical draft I've seen in a long time.
Yes.
It seemed like
the Harbaugh draft.
Yeah. It seemed like they really wanted to strengthen the interior of the offensive line, which you've been giving them crap for a long time. And it was like, why are they waiting so long to address it? So
you saw what Chris Jones did to you guys in the fourth quarter. Come on. Yeah,
exactly. So that was nice to see them address that. But for me, I had been talking about, I thought we needed to upgrade the running back position. And I love Raheem Mostert. I love Jeff Wilson. But if you felt the same way about Jimmy Garoppolo, then you should feel the same way about the running backs.
You're right.
Ultra talented, but they're always hurt and they're not available.
You're right. So, and it was a problem last year. 15th in the league in rushing. 4 starts from Jerick McKinnon. That's terrible.
Yeah. So the second thing is, did you see in the press conference when Matt Barrows asked Kyle and them about Bobby Turner and about how Bobby Turner got 2 picks this year?
Mm-hmm.
So when I thought about that, I'm like, man, Bobby Turner has been doing so great for so long with undrafted free agents. What is Bobby Turner going to do with a 3rd and a 6th round pick?
I know. It's exciting stuff.
That. Oh my gosh.
And that's the thing, like, people aren't really thinking about Elijah Mitchell that much. The dude runs a 4.3. He's 218 pounds, and Bobby Turner thinks he's good. So I wouldn't be surprised if this guy ends up being better than Trey Sermon. I mean, that happens all the time. All the time.
Yeah, the potential is there.
It definitely is.
And then a question for you. What did you think about in the press conference yesterday, hearing John and Kyle admit to their faults and evaluating injured players?
It was amazing. I feel like I'm living in bizarro world. Like, the Niners never admit mistakes. They never change. All of a sudden, it's like, wow. I really just can only have praise for him, because I feel like I'd be a hypocrite if I tried to find fault in the things they're doing. This is all the things I've been saying for years. You need to address your weaknesses, be honest with yourself, find a solution for these injuries, stop using them as an excuse. And they're trying their best. I'm so impressed.
So one thing I think we got to give them credit for is, if you go from 2017 to now to 2021, what you always want to look for is progression. You want to see if people get better, if they stop making the same mistakes. So it was very refreshing to see that growth, because we do forget this is their first time being a head coach and a GM. So,
I was ready to write off Kyle, man. I was like, dude, this guy makes terrible decisions. Decision making is a God-given trait. I don't think he's got it. And then when the Mac Jones rumors were out, I was like, man, here you go. This is Kyle right here. He's never going to learn. And then boom, it's Trey Lance. And every pick after that, I'm like, wow, that was a good decision. Good, Kyle. Wow.
Yeah. But I don't fault you or anybody else for thinking it was going to be Mac early on, because you as well as I know is in our area of Northern California, everybody who works the beat was thinking, damn, it's going to be Mac Jones.
No doubt. Yep.
Everybody thought it was going to be Mac Jones. So,
including me. But as time went on, it became pretty clear it couldn't be Mac Jones. It could not be Mac Jones.
Yeah, and I called you a while ago when I had said that I think the original pick was Mac at 12.
Okay.
I think it was.
Okay.
Because I felt like he was their plan C.
Yeah.
If we don't move up, if we don't get Deshaun Watson, if we don't do anything, that's him right there. But if we move up to number 3, we have an opportunity to get, one of these franchise
someone special,
potentially. Yeah. So thanks for the call, man. Appreciate your time.
Great call. Always great, man. Good stuff, man. Have a good one. Bay Area 925 says, was Jimmy secretly told day one that he's a bridge quarterback? I don't know. I wasn't there. If it was secret, how would I know? Maybe. Possible. One more, and then I'm going to let the next caller come on. TL says, amen, they finally got some dudes who will put some fear in the league. Some dudes. They got some dudes. All right, so yesterday I was driving around in the Kia Stinger with my new watch hanging out the door, and these kids drive up to me, and they're like, hey, man, is that a Rollie? I was like, nah, man, it's a Tissot. And he's like, that's nice, man. That's nice. He goes, hey, you got the nice Kia too, man. I was like, man, I had a good year. Anyway, so let's be watch cousin buddies. How you doing?
There
What's up? Yeah.
So you've been quite busy. I go on YouTube and you've got like a video every 2 or 3 hours.
I'm exhausted.
I was like, wow, he's working. He's working.
Gotta make that money, baby.
So do you think Kyle and John had dinner with Jim Harbaugh by any chance? Because
I don't know. It was a Harbaugh-esque draft, right? I mean, from the quarterback to the types of offensive linemen to the running backs. Wow.
I mean, to me, Harbaugh's offense wasn't complicated. Never was. It was, hey, we're bigger than you, and we're going to maul you.
We're going to grind you into hamburger meat.
Correct. And where they kind of lost a little bit of their wheels was, unfortunately, retirement and injuries. But it was Colin. He couldn't process. He couldn't take that next level, right?
That's right.
Colin.
Also, they lost Anthony Davis, which was a big deal, and replaced him with Jonathan Martin, who wasn't running over anyone in the NFL. Sorry about that. Keep going.
No. And like I said, I think at that time when the 49ers were good, right, 7-8 years ago, we had that 2-year window where we saw what a good offensive line, a talented arm quarterback can do. It'll get you minimum 10, 11 wins.
And that's what people forget about Colin and that time when he was playing so well. Go back and look at some of the pockets he was throwing from. I mean, there was a great offensive line, and the fear of the zone read had defenses like just standing still, man. Yes.
That Green Bay game, still the best game I've ever seen a quarterback play, where he went nuts, right? The playoff game.
He made him look dumb. It's like, have you never seen his own read in your life? Who was that? It was Eric Walden that kept spinning it. He did the original Jimmy Garoppolo pirouette. He invented it, and Jimmy just perfected it. Sorry, keep going.
No. I also think that they are taking a stance that they are going to do a shift from their division. I think everyone in their division was slowly turning into them.
And the Rams, yes. The Seahawks are the Rams now on offense. They have their guy. The Cardinals are like as small and spread out as possible.
So what do? You have to
zig
adapt,
while they zag. Yes, of course.
Right, zig while they
like
zag.
That.
And I think they can. Their personnel does not match very well against big offensive linemen that will bulldoze you and running backs, correct?
Right.
They don't. The Rams linebackers don't, and neither do the Seattle linebackers.
Right.
And neither do the...
You want to run right at Aaron Donald. You want to get someone big on him because he's not that big and just push him around.
Correct.
You don't want to let him rush the quarterback.
No, and I see so many, 2013, 12, 14 Niners, and where Jimmy's a quarterback, they've basically telegraphed that they don't think Jimmy's going to be healthy. They don't. No. If they're betting, they think Jimmy's going to get injured week 6, 7, 8, and they're never going to give Jimmy the starting job again. He's going to take him, much like Colin did with Alex, right?
That's right.
And then
Jimmy, it's your job until you get hurt. Let's see how long you last.
Correct. And you know what? Jimmy's got 2 decisions he's got to make. He's got to say, okay, I'm going to do above average. I'm going to do well. and get traded because you're never going to even get close to any sort of money if you get injured again. No one's going to offer you anything.
Right.
You're going to be a backup quarterback. You're going to go somewhere, make the league minimum, and maybe get your shot 2-3 years down the road.
It'll be Blaine Gabbert.
Correct. Now, if you make 16, 17 starts, you play above average, that middle 12, 13, 14th QB, get the Niners to a divisional, playoff, win a playoff game, maybe 2, you got to market. You got at least a second round pick market where they can turn around and be like, you want Jimmy for a second rounder? Yes. Because right now they got no market, right?
Right.
The only thing that I don't agree with is paying someone $26 million. But they've got the cap to do it, and they said the owner doesn't mind. So I guess go ahead, right? That would be my.
But again, though, like if you really consider yourself a Super Bowl contender, you're spending $27 million of your cap space on a guy who's not playing, or you're spending. I mean, between him and Trey Lance, that's a lot of money on quarterbacks. I've told you the numbers. You can't do it. So they're really, they're playoff contenders, but are they Super Bowl contenders? Putting that much money in a position where only one guy can play at a time? No.
Well, I think they're going back to, okay, we addressed our faults when we should have last year. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Who's to say Tampa Bay won't fall off? Tampa Bay did the exact same model the 49ers did. They signed – they didn't do anything. All they did was re-sign their own guys, right, essentially.
Yeah, but they drafted the best quarterback in the draft.
Yeah, you know what? I was very surprised that they drafted Kyle Trask, knowing Tom's history with treating backup quarterbacks. Yes. But, that kid is really, really good. And you know what? That kid's got a lot of Kyle Pitts that he can throw to on that team.
That's what I'm saying. And the thing is, like, we've had these discussions for months. Who's going to be the good quarterback? Which guy's going to succeed? And we rarely talk about the fact that it depended on where they go. And for if you like Justin Fields, you're like, well, it's not really his fault. And if you like Kyle Trask, you're like, oh yes, he's going to work out. Kellen Mond too. I love it.
Yeah, Kellen Mond as well. My last thing on, Justin Fields is that you as Kyle Shanahan have had this guy since 17.
Yep.
Developed him in the QB collective, and you still didn't draft him. Now, there's either two things. It's either an indictment on Justin Fields that, he was tailor-made for Kyle to get him since he was 17, and he didn't. He had the opportunity. He didn't.
He went with some guy he never worked with.
Nope. Nope. And that's telling because you saw the videos. They obviously know each other very well. He still didn't draft him, and neither did Bill move up the draft to get him.
Nope.
Neither did a lot of other teams that needed a quarterback. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with Justin Fields. And
the one franchise that took him is the franchise that has the least success scouting and developing quarterbacks.
He did not look very happy to be drafted.
I wouldn't be either.
He did not look happy.
No, it would be terrible. Yeah. Sorry, Justin.
Yeah.
No. Hey, great call, and thank you for making me cool with the kids yesterday. I thought it was a rollie. I was like, no, but it's pretty nice.
How was the wine, by the way? Was it good or no?
It was delicious. I had no idea they made Cab Franc in the Finger Lakes. I don't even know what the Finger Lakes are, but I've never had East Coast wine before. It was good.
Stop by. It's not too bad in the summer. Don't come here in the winter.
And I don't even know what's Wegmans. Is that like Safeway out there?
No, Wegmans is our claim to fame.
Oh, okay.
Think of the best grocery store you can, and then that's our claim to fame.
Well, anyway, thank you. It was all very foreign stuff to me. I was very appreciated. Thank you.
No problem.
Yep. Thanks, have a good one.
You too.
Yep. All right. Did you see RG3 trying to shoot his shot to be a backup to Lance Mentor? Yeah, that was so funny when he just casually said, "Yeah, man, they should hire me." Yeah, man, they should give me $1 million, man, $900,000. I think that'd be great. Yeah, dude, why don't you do it for free? How about that, RG? All right, Michael. Hold on real quick. Will Cam go all Ben Stiller from heavyweights on Mac Jones when he gets to the facility? I've never seen heavyweights, so I can't answer that. But I think they're going to have an amicable relationship because they're both adults and professionals. Michael.
Yeah, you missing the best store there is for wine.
What?
Right here on the East Coast. Watkins.
I had no idea.
I'm telling you, it's a wine store. Grocery store. I mean, they have a wall. Probably.
So Watkins is big on the East Coast? Watkins?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Probably 500-600 different types of wines.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay. All right. Well, next time I'm out in Virginia, man, I'm definitely going to Watkins.
Yeah. Well, you can buy it by the case out there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But, no, I hope Jimmy G doesn't make it out of camp without losing his starting job.
That's the ideal scenario,
if
right?
Trey Lance has the upside that everybody thinks he has and stuff, he should tear Jimmy G a new one.
Yep.
Jimmy G is a horrible practice quarterback. I just hope that we have 2 preseason games this year, I believe. Yeah. That he goes out there and dominates both of them games and just takes the job and just runs with it, and we never see Jimmy G's life again.
Yeah, I think that's the ideal scenario. It's just if I were Kyle Shanahan, I'm thinking, how many reps does Trey Lance need in practice and in preseason, like realistically, before he's ready? I mean, I guess it's different for every player, but with no OTAs, I don't know if there's going to be OTAs. They're voluntary, and the Players Association is advising.
Yeah, but I think a kid like him, that's
needs to go.
He wants to be out there on the field, and I guarantee he's going to be begging for OTAs.
If he goes to OTAs, if he goes to minicamp, I think he could do it. If not, it may drag into the season, which would be too.
Because I mean, look what he did all off season when he wasn't playing for the year, begging for any football stuff. So when OTAs come around, he's going to be begging for guys to come in and be with him.
Let me ask you real quick. Everyone knows you were big in Mac Jones. Are you cool with Trey Lance?
Oh yeah, Trey Lance was my number two guy.
Okay.
Actually, Zach Wilson and then Mac Jones and Trey Lance were equal at number 2 picks. Who I wanted. I wanted all 3 of them. I thought it was going to be Mac Jones because of all the, everything was coming out of
saying it was going to be Mac Jones. Yeah.
There was too many high-profile guys saying it's going to be Mac Jones for me to not believe it wasn't Mac Jones. Right. So I had it stuck in my head.
But what Adam Schefter doesn't understand is if I take a stand against a player, the Niners can't take him. And once I started the campaign against Mac Jones, it was over. I'm sorry, Mac. I'm sorry, it wasn't personal, but I couldn't let you. I couldn't let you be the pick.
Well, you seen who we both mocked to him. We both said Trey Lance.
We did that
in our 7th round
mock draft. A month before the draft.
That's who I believe they were going to take.
That's right.
But all this Mac Jones. I mean, I'm like, man, they're gonna probably take Mac Jones. That's why I was settled. I'm happy with Mac Jones if it was. Yep. He's gonna succeed. I guarantee you, Belichick got a hell of a quarterback.
Yeah, I actually think the guys that landed in the best spots are Lance, not particularly Lawrence, not particularly Wilson, Lance, Mac Jones, Kellen Mond, and Kyle Trask. Those guys are in good spots. Trask and Mond get to
super spot.
Hell, yeah. I mean, Kellen Mond he was throwing to nobodies. Now he gets Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook. He's got so much better.
2 great wide receivers.
I can't wait to see that. I cannot see that.
But I mean,
I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I kind of hope also that both of them offensive guards that we took, I know the one was left tackle, but he's projected as a left guard. And everybody says we reached for the one. Well, no, he was projected the number 1 guard in the draft.
Yeah.
According to NFL.com.
He fell during the process. I don't know if it was his testing or whatever, but early on he was seen as the premier guard in this draft, right?
I mean, you got the guy from Tennessee that fell all the way to the 7th round. And the other Alabama guy.
But Banks went ahead of Quinn Miners, right?
Oh, yeah. Big time ahead of him. Yeah, I hope both of them start left guard and right guard. I don't want to see our left guard succeed. He's below average. He's probably ranked the 22nd to 25th left guard in the league.
And
why don't you want him out of there? I hope.
Yeah, I actually thought he was worse than Mike McGlinchey last year. He's the one that.
He's worse than Mike McGlinchey.
Yeah.
He looks pretty decent because we had a lot of trash on the O-line last year.
It's true.
Now he's going to look bad if he starts because we got good guys. And I hope, the strong safety that we drafted also, huge upside. If he stays uninjured, Javosky Tart might as well hang it up. He's going to lose his job. That guy's too talented, makes too many plays, too many tackles. I mean, he reminds me of the guy the Jets traded to Seattle.
Oh, wow. Jamal Adams.
He's a Jamal Adams made over, but injury prone. Well, if he can stay uninjured, we have a Jamal Adams now. I mean, he's got 3 sacks. He plays up. He does everything like Jamal Adams does. Plays up close to the line.
When I watched Jamal Adams, I compared him to Troy Polamalu, that kind of playmaker.
And other people compare this guy to Troy Polamalu.
Yeah, he trained with Troy Polamalu. So
he's just it's cool. He's a superstar if he's uninjured. And then both the running backs, I hope Raheem Mostert never receives a carry this year. The guy from Ohio State is the real deal.
But I like Mostert too.
I understand. I love Mostert too. But I'm telling you, if these two rookies come in and do their job, we may not have these injury-prone running backs out there doing much, if anything.
That's a good point. I hope Mostert has one more good year. He's one of my favorite players.
Well, I hope he has a good
year. He's a nice
too,
guy.
But this rookie from Ohio State could put him out.
Yeah. They'd be a nice combo, too, though. Between the tackles outside, Thunder and Lightning. Oh, yeah, he's really, really, really
good. Let the best guy
actually kind of liked him. I thought he was my favorite running back in the draft. I also like Michael Carter, but he's more of a receiver. This Trey Sermon guy is really good.
Yeah, I wanted the Alabama guy, but
but I think it's a little bit better fit for what the Niners are trying to do. Alabama, like the Najee Harris guy, like he's more of a traditional offense, I would think. If you're going to run the zone read, I like Trey Sermon. You saw him do it at Ohio State. Anyway,
I'm telling you,
some more calls.
One more thing. He is the reason why Justin Fields went in the first round. Without him, Justin Fields would have been a second-round quarterback.
Because without him, they wouldn't have played Clemson.
The Northwestern game,
that game was going bad.
Clemson game, that's right.
Trey Sermon,
he's the one that made him a lot of money.
Yeah. Right. Hey, good stuff, man. Thank you.
Later.
Oh, wait, hold on.
What's up,
I've seen you trying to get on the show a lot of times. I've never gotten to you before. Sorry about that. Great to have you.
Oh, it's good, bro. Calling from Fresno.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, dude. You know what's even more exciting is do the Rams regret this trade? Because we might run that division.
Which
Trey Sermon? Yeah.
Like, oh, right. They traded up with the Rams.
Yeah, that's like we robbed them. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I've been, I'll be like Hufunga. I'll be blessed to be here on this stream for today. But I think he's going to be a raw player. This
Trey
guy.
Sermon.
Yeah, Trey Sermon, dude.
Okay.
I watched him at Oklahoma. Very good back, very good back. But when he came to Ohio State, man, he had that Northwestern game, and I was like thinking, man, if we can get this guy, dude, this is an every down back that we need. We don't need those other gadget backs like Raheem Mostert, who, don't get me wrong, he's a speedy back, he could do it all. But Trey Sermon's just a complete different animal. Like he's like kind of reminds me a little bit of Arian Foster, where he runs in between the tackles, catch the ball off the backfield. Dude, this guy is like really good. Like watching him from the Oklahoma
really good comparison. Arian Foster, he's got that quick cutback, not super fast, but a little upright, but about the same size. And Arian Foster, he ran for 2,000 yards once. He was so good.
All purpose. Dude, that guy was a beast. He was undrafted, ran a 4.6. Ran a 4.6, but he was good, very effective.
That's a great comp. I don't know that Kyle ever coached Arian Foster, but Gary Kubiak did. Same offense. If you don't remember Arian Foster, that was about 10 years ago, watch his highlights. He made it look so easy. That's a little bit how Trey Sermon, that's a really good comp. I like that. A lot.
Yeah.
Trey Sermon might be their best pick. I mean, Trey Lance, good pick, but man, they gave up a lot to get him. Trey Sermon dropped. That was value.
Yeah, that was shocking. I thought he would have been drafted in the second round at least because of his skill set. Because, usually those backs that haven't been used a lot, they usually become a lot successful in the NFL. Because, like, when you usually see a lot of running backs get over 3,000 or 4,000 yards rushing, they tend to wear down in the NFL level. So I thought this guy was a good value.
Yeah, you saw where J.K. Dobbins went, the previous Ohio State running back last year. He went to the Ravens in round 2. Trey Sermon is just as good. Maybe he's not as fast, but he's just as good.
Very good. He's hard to tackle, and he's good on that outside zone plays, and he even embraces that role because he did it in Ohio State. I mean, like as far as the talent wise, this guy is just like when I watch him play, I just think of Arian Foster. Like, dude, this guy just has it.
Love it, man. Good stuff. Well, good scheme fit in that case. Thanks for coming on, man.
All right, thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
Take care. Hey, what's up, Anuj? How you doing?
What's up, Grant? How are you?
What's up? I'm all right, man. I'm all right.
Little polo collection. I saw it was every day.
I'm too tired to wear a suit.
I know, dude. I get it. I saw a comment that was super funny underneath your thing. It was like, it looks like Grant doesn't wear any pants underneath his blazer.
I don't.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely not.
That's sick.
Why would you?
I mean, no.
Are you wearing pants right now? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Wow.
Why would you?
I'm actually in athletic shorts.
Nice. See, that's
what's up. But in terms of the draft, it's crazy. Because I feel like every Niner media member, like you and Aponte and everyone I watch is just like, I love the draft, super physical guys, everything. And then Mel Kiper goes on this 5-minute rant on they sucked. They got Trey Sermon. He's the value's horrible. And I'm like, I don't know who to believe. It's pretty crazy. It's just
I don't know. I mean, I guess a lot of times the guys like Mel Kiper, they have their own rankings and it's based on. Well, I had Aaron Banks in round 4, so that was a reach. Or it's
right.
I don't know, man. Like, how good are your rankings? Like, historically,
Exactly.
how accurate are your rankings?
Exactly. But
I know the team better than Mel Kiper does, and it seems like they really hit their weaknesses. And I've seen Trey Sermon play. I've seen Trey Lance play. I kind of like their picks. So far.
Yeah. I mean, I like the fifth. What is he a fifth round pick? The safety Hufanga.
Yes.
So he's like, I was looking up his like measurements because I saw a couple of pictures of him, and the guy looks massive. And I looked at a couple like of his measurements. He's 6'1", so he's like the same height as Jaquaski, but like he's built, man. He looks like a bruiser. He looks like
he's only 200 pounds though, which is interesting. He's kind of like Jimmy Ward size, which is what you want. You want a guy who can play both positions. And like Ward, he's had issues breaking bones, stuff like that. Well, that was Ward's problem. I mean, that could be. You just have to drink more milk. That's what I'm saying.
No brittle bones, right?
Right.
Yeah. And I had another
ever since I brought that up to the 49ers in a press conference, Jimmy Ward hasn't been breaking bones. I'm just saying.
There you go.
Calcium.
Yeah.
Vitamin D.
More milk. Got milk. You should do a got milk ad, Grant.
That's right.
No, I wanted to ask you because I know you've been on like the Zoom calls with all the players. I know they've been short. So like, what are your initial kind of impressions of this draft class, just like overall?
Oh, like the personalities of them.
Yeah.
Trey Lance is. I think he's going to be able to handle the pressure. There's a ton of pressure on his shoulders. He has to be like 45 years old.
Right.
I think he's built to handle it. He's not going to be like George Kittle, like speaking, giving all kind of fun sound bites and stuff. Like he's going to be more like Fred Warner, very businesslike. So I liked him. Aaron Banks is the quintessential offensive lineman, very smart, very talkative, the kind of guy you go to during the week in the locker room after wins, after losses. I like him. And he's from the East Bay, which means we speak the same language. It's pretty cool.
Okay. For sure.
And then Trey Sermon, I didn't get that much of a read on him yet. Hufanga is a big time talker. He's very, very fans are going to love that guy.
Yeah.
Fans are going to love that guy. That's all I got right now.
I'm sure. Okay. Yeah. And then one last thing before I leave. So I heard you talk on a show that you like were missing New York style pizza. Dude, I got a place for you, bro, down here in the South Bay. It's my favorite pizza place all time. I think it's the best pizza in the whole entire world. It's called Cicero's Pizza. It's in San Jose.
Say it again.
Cicero's Pizza.
Spell it.
Ciceros. It's in San Jose. You just look it up. Type it into Google. Yeah. Type it into Google. It's like a New York style pizza chain. They were out in New York back in like the 60s and they moved out to like the Santa Clara area now. And it's like family owned. Everything is super, super good. And I work there. So just tell them I sent you.
Hey,
so
great. Cause I don't like spending money on anything, man. No, I'm just kidding. I really appreciate that. I'm going to be there. I'm going to go.
During training camp, I'll see you there. Go. Yeah, maybe.
There,
dude.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Great call.
Right.
Thank you. Pizza recommendation was
I got you.
Above and beyond. All right, man. Take care. No.
Grant, what's up with you, baby?
What's up, man? How you doing, man?
I'm good. Listen, my chest was tight during the draft. I was a little nervous
before the Trey Lance pick.
Before the Trey Lance pick, and then I heard the name Trey Lance, and then I calmed down. But you know, the first thing I thought of after that,
what?
I thought of our conversation. I was like, okay, when is Kyle selecting the next quarterback?
He didn't do it. Kyle showed so much growth, man.
He didn't do it. He didn't do it, and I saw the press conference after when they talked about Trey Lance the first. You saw how giddy he was in his face. Up into this process, he's been so stoic.
Yeah,
I don't know who's going to be alive on Sunday. And then they draft Trey Lance, and he goes into the press conference, and he's like, "Oh my God, he was the guy all along." And I'm just so happy we got him. It's like he opened a PlayStation 5 on Christmas. Like,
is he like good at acting all of a sudden? Because he had me fooled.
He must be.
He looked legitimately angry on Monday, and I still can't account for that. Why? What was that? What was that, man? I don't get it.
I have no idea. But here's what I wanted to go to.
All right.
A lot of the fans. I mean, listen. I'm faithful. I love the faithful. But sometimes y'all are not pleased for anything. We said we needed to get corners. We got two. We said we needed to beef up the offensive line. We got two. We said we needed more running backs. We got two. So we addressed needs. And now, Kyle didn't draft a wide receiver. Does he think that we don't have enough? What is Kyle's problem? Listen, we got Ayuk. We got Debo. We got Kittle. Those are three wide receivers right there. They're going to take up the bulk of the targets, right? We got the running backs who can catch out of the backfield. And you can't forget about Juice. Juice is used everywhere. Dwelly. We don't have that many We don't have that many targets to go around. I understand.
Plus there's Travis Benjamin, Mohamed Sanu, River Craycraft, Jalen Hurd, Richie James. I mean, there's guys. I like Richie James Jr.
I love Richie. I think Richie needs more opportunities.
There you go. Yeah.
I really do think he needs more opportunities.
Honestly,
in the
them
slot.
not taking a wide receiver was one of my favorite decisions they made in this draft.
Absolutely. And with the philosophy, I don't want to say shift, the added pieces that help build on his philosophy, like you said earlier, we're gonna be running the ball a lot. We're going to be running the ball a lot,
more than as much as the Ravens.
Absolutely. We're going to control the clock. We're going to wear down the defensive lines, and then that's when the play action really gets to come into effect. I can't wait to see what Kyle does. Last thing before I jump off, and this is outside of the draft.
Yes.
We re-signed DJ Jones. We go out and get Zach Kerr. We go out and get Maurice Hurst. I wanted to ask you personally, because I know you've been up and down with Javon Kinlaw. Does the addition of that many pieces to the defensive tackle spot say anything about Javon Kinlaw?
It does. Absolutely, man. I'm sorry. Javon Kinlaw is a good athlete, and he didn't pick himself 13th, but he wasn't really a pass rusher in college, and he wasn't really a pass rusher last year. And you can improve. I mean, I've seen pros improve, but the ones who are great are kind of natural and come into the league with a skill set like Buckner, and he's not. He could have an Eric Armstead type career, because Armstead is not a natural pass rusher either, but he can produce. He could be that, but I think they're looking at like, look, if Chris Koserick couldn't get more than 1.5 sacks out of this guy, then maybe they need to bring in other people, because Koserick does really well with other guys. I mean, look at me with Kerry freaking Hyder or Kevin Givens. Like maybe Kinlaw just doesn't have the tools that they need to make him a pass rusher. You're right.
So outside of this year, after this year, what do you think the option is for Kinlaw? If he's not able to put it together, do we give him another year? Do we give him his 4 years and not,
Solomon
pick up
Thomas
his fifth-year option?
Yes, the Solomon Thomas treatment. If he doesn't show anything, we're here. We got you for 4 years. You'll be in the rotation. We'll say nice things about you in the press conference, but we're not going to pick up your 5th-year option. But again, that's down the line. I think there's a lot of examples of defensive tackles who didn't do anything their first year and then exploded year 2. If he's playing alongside Armstead, Bosa, and Ebukam, and those guys are producing, then he could be good too. I'm not going to write him off yet, but yeah, he's got to. You're right. I think they're preparing for that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shout out to all my East Coast people. Listen, Wegmans is a spot. It's like ShopRite, but like the bougie ShopRite.
I don't even know what ShopRite is.
Oh yeah, so you're not East Coast guy. So
I'm not East Coast.
It's a grocery store, but it's like a upscale. It's like Whole Foods.
Got it. See, we got
like
Whole Foods.
It's like Whole Foods. Yeah, it's like Whole Foods.
Got it.
But Whole Foods don't have the wine. Wegmans got the whole. It's like a whole liquor store in there.
Ooh, okay.
It's like a legitimate liquor store. So shout out to Wegmans.
Shout out
Wegmans,
folks. All right, where are you calling from, by the way?
I'm in Jersey.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, go have a good one.
In Jersey.
Appreciate
you
too.
too.
See you next time.
Later.
All right. There he is. What's up? Hold on real quick. We got a comment real quick. You're a damn hard worker, Grant. Thank you. Good to see you give credit when it's due to yourself. Hope to get to show you my stinger if I ever get through. Oh, dang. Hey, Black Samurai, we're going to have a Stinger to Stinger show one day. Email me. We got to make that happen. Stinger Brothers, Grant Cohn at Gmail. What's up, Darius? How you doing?
What's
up?
Draft's over. We had a very successful draft.
Yep.
And I paid attention to 2 drafts pretty closely. It was ours and the Bears, because my mom's a Bears. My mom's a Bears fan. She's also a Michigan fan. So that first round pick kind of conflicted her because they drafted an Ohio State quarterback. But I want to talk about it. I really like our draft, and I actually did my homework, like you asked me to go back and watch some old 49er clips and some Jeff Garcia.
Nice.
And I noticed something about our team, mainly our defense, and they're kind of boiling over. Our defense stays kind of old.
Yes,
it stays pretty old, and our young guys we pick from like the 4th, 5th round, they come in the secondary.
Yep.
And us picking the way we did. And I really like the first corner we picked, because a big problem was special teams. We had way too many drops, especially in the Dallas game. We picked the guy who excelled at special teams in college, along with his corner ability. So I just want to get your opinion on this. I watched a lot of the 49ers YouTube channel because they were bringing on all the prospects that we just drafted.
Yeah.
Lance, just off first view, seems like one of the smartest people I've ever seen when it comes to football.
But
I just want to know, essentially, Do you think every guy on this we drafted can make an impact on this team?
Yes. Although my one little gripe is I feel like the DBs they got are more depth pieces. Although people keep pointing out that the corner from Michigan has upside, and the safety from USC has upside. So that's interesting. I mean, I think the guy from Oregon, I mean, if he could be your starting nickel, then he has upside. So I really do like this draft a lot. My one quibble could end up being wrong in a few years if those DBs step up.
Because I was just as shocked as basically every other 49er fan. We didn't draft a wide receiver.
Yes.
And
I didn't think Kyle could do it. I didn't think
he could do it either. I thought when we got that extra fourth, I'm like, oh, so that's where we're gonna let him take his wide receiver. But we used it in a piece to move up. But I don't know if you watched John Lynch's post draft conversation on their YouTube channel, but he mentioned something that I don't think a lot of people picked up on. They're not done in free agency.
Good point.
And he like mentioned that like we still got guys out there talking to other guys. We got our players out there talking to these guys, trying to get them in. I think that's where we're gonna get our third receiver, our little slot guy. But I also think that's where we're gonna build up the bulk of our defense because, like I did my homework, we play a bit old on defense. We play a lot of grizzled veterans, but I think that's something. And you kind of mentioned that we're going zag. We're gonna zig while everybody's trying to zag to us.
That's right.
And I feel like I don't like the idea of Lance starting this year. That's personally me. I don't like the idea of starting this year because one, he didn't really have a 2020 in college, so he's still kind of probably a bit raw. And I want Kyle to work with him day one on just molding him. I don't feel, but I feel like depending on how good Jimmy's playing, we can probably ship him at the deadline and bring in Lance.
Hey, that would be ideal. That would be ideal.
Because
be interesting to see what. Yeah.
Because like Debo, he posted a video of him getting healthy. Jimmy, from all I hear in the media and all I've seen, he's getting himself healthy. He's preparing himself to have what he seems to comment as the season of his life. And I think the 49ers are. I think Kyle's seeing that, and I do believe Kyle when he says that Lance has been his pick since one, because and it mainly stems from in every mock, Lance was predicted to go to the Falcons. What did they do? They traded to the Falcons, and I do think Mac was the pick at 12, but when they got the chance to get Lance, they took it. So I really do think the 49ers this year are gonna do it, and I think if we actually get our training camp and our OTAs and stuff like that, where people can actually get in, work out, and make weight and stuff, we're gonna be good. Because a lot of people couldn't work out over the offseason last year because it hit.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see. This is a very intriguing team. They can make a run. Darius, thank you for doing your homework. I appreciate it. Great job. A+.
No problem.
All right, man. Take care. All right, I'm gonna let Amin jump the line real quick because I know he's got a lot of stuff he's got to do today, and he's been waiting. He's got the nice shirt on. What's up, Amin? How you doing?
What's up?
What's up?
Bro, me and Benjamin, a Niner follower, did like this draft party, and my cousin, like right before the Niners pick, he started texting me Mac Jones. He started spamming me Mac Jones, and I was like, no, he already got the pick. How? No.
How did he know? Who was sources?
And then I said Trey Lance. I was like, oh my god. And me and Benjamin are like running around going crazy. Benjamin had like pizza on his face, like running around. He's like, let's go.
That's so funny.
We were all getting hyped. We were all getting hyped.
Good. Congrats.
No, but I want to talk about something real fast because the thing is, like Kyle Shanahan press conference on Monday, he started bashing Jimmy Garoppolo. He started bashing Jimmy Garoppolo like crazy.
He really did. And the fans.
Yeah.
It was like it was amazing, man. Kyle, what are you doing?
And then now he's like, I came off the wrong way. He's like, I was just messing around. Jimmy's are like a guy. I was just messing around and stuff like that. And the thing I don't understand about that is like even press conference, they said that they were trying to make the trade. Oh my god, the phone call.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
So they said that they were trying to make this trade since January. And in January, when they were holding their end of the season press conference, they said Jimmy's our guy. Everybody started throwing them questions at Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, Jimmy's our guy. Jimmy's our guy.
Yeah.
Jimmy's our guy.
Yeah.
And now they're saying that they're trying to make the trade since January. So there's something sus about that because I don't understand what's going on and what's going on.
You said that was sus?
It is sus.
I'm sorry. I'm 33 years old. What does that mean?
Suspect.
Oh, okay, got it.
Suspicious, suspect, or
Sorry,
suspicious.
sorry.
You know?
Kids these days with their
It's
lingo. Okay.
It was suspicious because it's like on you now you're saying that you're trying to make the trade since January, but in January whenever everybody started asking you questions about Jimmy Garoppolo, you kept deflecting questions from Jimmy Garoppolo.
It's true.
What's going on over there?
I don't know.
Is
Kyle
happy with Jimmy Garoppolo? Are you mad at Jimmy Garoppolo?
I don't know, Kyle. Vish is on you, man. I mean, sorry, Amin is on you, man. You got to know. You got to eat. I don't know, man. He's got to get his story straight, don't you think?
Yeah.
I don't buy it. He was angry for some reason on that Monday pre-draft press conference, and I'll never understand why. I have my suspicions, though. He said he wanted him since January. Yeah, man. That's the kind of stuff I would say to my parents. Like, I wanted to, this was my plan the whole time. You thought, no, I always wanted to do this. You can always say stuff like that. I don't know.
And I want to go into this Mac Jones thing real fast. I think Mac Jones was an honest smokescreen. And you know why I think it is an honest smokescreen? Because when we made that trade in March, and then when we went to Alabama's Pro Day, Kyle Shanahan didn't look happy at Alabama Pro Day, but someone leaked in the Niners organization and said that we like Mac Jones. And it started going everywhere. Niners want Mac Jones. It's 100% guaranteed. Niners are drafting Mac Jones. Niners are drafting Mac Jones.
Yes.
And now at the press conference, they said Trey Lance our guy since the beginning. Since we made this trade, we looked at Trey Lance. Someone in the organization leaked Mac Jones. And Kyle Shanahan didn't even look happy at Mac Jones Pro Day. He looked so disappointed at Mac Jones Pro Day. So disappointed at Mac Jones Pro Day. Even Bill Belichick was disappointed at Mac Jones Pro Day.
His face was like, it was like that.
Yeah,
it was awful.
like, so then the Mac Jones rumor started leaking. When he went to Justin Fields Pro Day, he looked like the happiest guy in the world at Justin Fields Pro Day.
True.
He was like,
same with Lance too. Same with the Lance Pro Day. Yeah.
He looked so happy at Justin Fields Pro Day. Some people not that many people leak Justin Fields, but then Mac Jones was just an honest smokescreen. He wanted the Jets to take just Mac Jones or Justin Fields. He didn't say that he wanted Justin Fields, but he acted happy with Justin Fields.
True.
So he wanted the Jets to take Justin Fields or Mac Jones, and he probably wanted Zach Wilson. But that was just honestly a smokescreen, and now they're saying they wanted Trey Lance. No, it was a smokescreen.
Yeah.
If you couldn't tell it was a smokescreen, then it was just you don't understand things because it was a smokescreen.
All I knew is I figured out with about a week or two to go that it was an impossibility for them to draft Mac Jones. So even if he wanted to, it wasn't going to happen, and there was going to be another pick. And I'm surprised that more local beat writers didn't figure that out as well, because I thought it was pretty obvious. There's no way in the world they could take Mac Jones, and they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't. It was so funny how Mac Jones walked out of the tunnel. He was like, and he looked so fat in his suit. He looked so fat.
He no matter what he does, he doesn't look like an athlete. It's everything about him is embarrassing, man. I'm sorry. Good luck to you, Mac. I mean, sorry I called you Vish. That was a little sus. But really good call, man. Have a great Sunday.
You too.
All right, late, man. Sorry about that, Ryan. I let the kid jump ahead of you. How you doing? Oh, are you? Hold on. You're a little. I can't hear you. You are muted, and it doesn't say muted. Here, jump out, come back in. I'll jump you back to the head of the line. Leave the studio, come back in. It'll work. Come back. You'll be after Ben Meyerson. Big Ben Meyerson. What's up, man?
What's up, Grant? How are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, Big Ben Meyerson. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I feel like I'm a little more aged after the draft. It was a long draft process, honestly.
Me too, man. Yeah.
It was stressful too. But I'm so surprised that we're sitting here after the draft and you and East Bay Chris are like two of the most positive people I've heard about the draft. It's like bizarro world. It's strange.
I know. I never expected. I was like halfway through the draft. I was like, do I like this? I think I like this. Yeah. It's an awful, a weird feeling. Like, ew. I'm going to praise them.
Oh.
In May. Wow.
Yeah. In May too.
In May, I never do that. Okay.
Before I get into my stuff, I have one quick question for you.
Sure.
When do you first get to see Trey Lance in person in camp? Do you know?
That's a great question, man. I have no idea what the spring thing is. I mean, are there OTAs? Am I invited? I don't know.
So
I don't know.
With the optional ones, I saw the 49ers were one of the teams that put out one of those statements from the NFLPA with all the players and everything. So
of course, because Richard Sherman is one of their top guys, but Sherman isn't on the team anymore. And I'm telling you, Trey Lance might be like, I'm going. I don't know about you guys. I'm going.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to benefit him more than anything else if he wants to start right away. And I want to push back on something. And this is some people said this. I don't know if you've said it. I feel like you've been kind of in the middle, but I know Vish would agree with this, is that I want to see Trey Lance play as soon as possible.
Yeah, I like that too. I just think he should earn it, but I think he will.
Yeah, I agree with the fact that he should earn it, but I think even after the draft, some of the reporting, because I saw like Schefter of the world, the two things that people put out from the national side were that Trey Lance was off the charts in terms of cerebral, right?
Yes.
He was just brilliant in terms of football and all that stuff. I think that's what helped him probably a lot. The other thing I saw was that they're going to try and use him a little bit of that Taysom Hill strategy. At first. Yeah. If they're not going to play him, they're going to at least try and get him involved in the offense a little, which I like, because you want to get the guy out there and get some reps. But I think overall,
he'll be a factor in the offense, whether or not he's starting week 1 or not. I think that's true.
Absolutely. Yeah. But from more of a macro perspective, for Kyle Shanahan, I think this is one of the more interesting academic exercises of his career. I mean, it really is. You see what happened with RG3 in Washington, and he got hurt right away. And that was kind of like only the tip of the iceberg. I think what they're trying to build is some hybrid of that RG3 and that Baltimore Ravens offense that we see right now. To me, that's going to be like the ideal Trey Lance offense, because, I mean, I think the mistake I made, and even you would admit to it, Grant, during the draft process with Trey Lance, is we were like, he didn't throw the ball enough. He didn't throw the ball enough on all this stuff. It's like,
they don't want to throw.
How many times is he going to throw the ball? They're going to run it 60% of the time, like you were saying. I think they're going to try and break that Baltimore Ravens record, if not get really close. I mean, and if you look at the rest of their draft, it tells you exactly that. I mean, their next 2 picks, guard, he's going to be integral to that run game. If you look at what Baltimore does with how they pool guards, with the movement they use, all that different kinds of stuff. I mean, if you think
they're going to be adding a lot of that Baltimore stuff to the offense they already have in place. Yes,
exactly. And if you look at the 2019 offense the Niners had, that was second in the league. And I mentioned all this stuff. I was tweeting to you about this, but the important thing is they were second in rushing offense and did all kinds of great stuff with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's going to be It's going to be supercharged with Trey Lance. It's going
to be. And you know, he was saying, Kyle was saying, like, I'm really excited to actually have the ability to do 11-on-11 football. It presents a lot of problems for the defense. Yeah, that's what they have now. And they don't always have to do that. They can put him under center and he can be a traditional quarterback, but it's something he can do, and they're going to use it, because you'd be stupid not to. And the thing that's great about him as opposed to RG3 is he's built to run the ball.
Exactly.
He's way bigger than Trey Sermon. He's way bigger than every running back the Niners have. Let him go.
Exactly. And I think you mentioned this. It's important. He's already going to be the best runner on the team. He's going to be the best athlete. I mean, so
just like Lamar Jackson in Baltimore.
Yeah, but here's the difference, even, Grant. With Lamar Jackson, he doesn't have the weapons that Trey Lance has.
He doesn't have the arm that Trey Lance has. Like, when it's time to finally do a play-action pass, Lamar's a good thrower, but he ain't like Lance. Lance is going to be able to throw bombs down the field. Brandon Ayuk is going to show a totally different skill set. It's going to be great.
Well, and just think about, if you even look at all their main 3 pass catchers, they're all taking jet sweeps around the back too. So to me, it's like Baltimore supercharged. It's like I want to get off this for a second, but I just got to end with this Trey Lance thing, man. I'm so happy. I was so relieved. It was a nice feeling, and it's strange, really, to see you so positive. So I got to put that out.
I'll find something to be negative about later.
Yeah. I will say the 2 things I wanted to mention, pick 43 or pick 48 eventually, and 102. I feel like they had better options at corner, and then they got taken the pick ahead of them. If you look, Asante Samuel Jr., of course, he got taken by the Chargers at pick number 47. Right there with Aaron Banks. And I'm not mad at the Aaron Banks pick. It's just Asante Samuel Jr. would have been awesome for the secondary. And then if you look at the next pick where they actually picked the Michigan corner, the Syracuse corner got picked 1 spot ahead of him, who everyone loved. And I was both times when that happened, I was like sitting on my couch, just like, oh God, this is the worst. But besides that, I think overall you hit it. You hit the main point, which is that, like, they filled positions of need and they took multiple shots at the dartboard for it. You know, they always talk about the draft. You want all these darts, you want all these picks, you want all these opportunities to get better. And the 49ers, if they got the quarterback position figured out, you know, that's going to make this successful or not, right? But if you look at the rest of the draft, it's 2 guys at all the positions that they really need to make better right now. And I think the one position you could have argued that they may have taken at the end of the draft would be a guy like, would be a wide receiver, and there were still good wide receivers available in undrafted free agency. Like, they got Austin Watkins. That guy, that was one of, I think, the better moves of day 3 for them. Because if you look at it, that was a guy I remember I saw Niners fans when pick 194 came up, I think it was. They were like, oh, Austin Watkins. And then you go and get him in undrafted free agency. So I think I hate to be like super positive, but I don't really know what to be super critical of either. I mean, we'll see how it pans out because, like you said, like multiple times, it's all about Trey Lance, right?
All about Trey. Yeah.
But I think more than anything, they had put their thumb on the heartbeat of this team, and they have an identity now, and they're building an offensive identity, which Kyle can really get behind. I think that's one of the more important things to me. I think Kyle's more happy than anyone right now because they're building this big bruising team with Trey Lance, and they're just gonna bulldoze people. And like the play action, it's gonna be. I think it's just going to be outrageous, honestly. Like I think in 2-3 years, if this works out how we think it's going to work out, they could go for it all and win it all, and they could do it running the ball and passing the ball 8 times a game. Like they could. So it's funny because on the one hand, Kyle's evolving, right? But then on the other, it's like he's running instead of saying, oh, I need that Patrick Mahomes, whatever, right? Like everyone was saying, he's like, no, I just want to run the ball more. I just want to keep running the ball, which is really funny to me. But yeah. Hey, I'll get out of there on that ground. I just want to say, man, you've been doing some awesome stuff lately, and I always enjoy this stuff.
I appreciate it. I'm going to crash out in a minute, but we're going to keep this going for a couple more minutes. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Always a pleasure to see you, man.
Seriously though, great work over the draft. You did some.
Thank you. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Have a good one. Mark Lamar says no Mac Jones, bought a Stinger GT2. Life is good. Yeah. It's a nice car. Sean says, thank you, Jesus, for helping the 8-year-old Niner fan Grant. Thank you for the joy and hope this draft has given Grant. Prayers answered, fam. Great to hear that, Sean. Always, glad to hear that 8-year-old's all right. Good to see you, man. All right, let me give Ryan another chance. I can't hear you. Dang. Sorry, Ryan. Sorry. Hey, let's do sign language, though. No, we can't do sign language. Hey, next time, if I see you, I'll bump you up to the front. I don't know what it is. There must be some type of, it happens, man. Don't worry about it. Next time, I'll see you around. Sorry about that. What's up? Cincinnati, right?
Yep.
What's up, man?
I'm wearing a California shirt, though.
Repping, man. I like it.
I want to praise you I do want to praise you as the reporter, but at the same time, I got a question,
Sure.
I mean, your favorite film.
No, praise me first. Praise me first. I like praise.
I want to, but your favorite Tarantino film's Jackie Brown. You were questioning that one. You were questioning that one guy about pants, and you don't know what sus means. I thought reporters were supposed to know everything. Nah, I'm actually more calmed down since the draft night. Keep your censor bar ready just in case if I do go off. I'm kidding.
Okay.
I don't want. I remember last time I gave you a scare when I.
You did. I was like, whoa. But you pulled it off.
No, I don't want to give crazy conspiracies here or crazy ideas, and it's not my main topic, but they drafted a guy named Aaron in the draft very high. My name is Aaron. I'm taking this as a sign. Super Bowl three-peat. We're going to do what we almost did in the 90s, early 90s. But no, I just wanted to, is anyone mentioning the fact that we drafted 2 Treys in the draft? We're gonna have that Trey.
I mentioned it. We got Trey on Trey action in the backfield. On the craps table, if you get 2 3s, that's a hard 6. I'm just saying. Man. It pays off nicely.
You know what? I had a realization because the last time I was on here, I was saying Trey Lance is a lot like Kaepernick, and I stand by that. I think Trey Lance has Kaepernick's skill set and ability, but the thing I realized is I think he has Alex Smith's mind. Like he's basically got Kaepernick's. I know you think he's more like Newton or something, but I think he's got Kaepernick's skill set.
Kaepernick was really smart. Yeah. Kaepernick was really smart. The difference to me is Kaepernick had a fastball and that's it.
Yeah.
And Trey Lance is a better passer right now than Kaepernick ever was, than Cam Newton ever was. I know that's a lot to say, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, but I think he's got his like athleticism, especially his speed. But then he's got Alex Smith's mind, which Alex Smith is also a really smart football player. He didn't make a lot of turnovers once.
He was like Peyton Manning level smart. Yep, I agree.
Yeah, but he came in a little too late, and now he's just overshadowed by the other quarterback we missed on. Yeah.
Anyway, man, I like that. I like that sweater a lot, dude. You're looking great. How are things in Cincinnati, man?
People are actually excited about the Jamar Chase selection. I'm over here like, who's going to throw him the ball?
Yeah. Who is the quarterback now that Joe Burrow's hurt?
Well, Joe Burrow's supposed to be coming back, but oh god, Ryan Finley was in there at one point, but now he's gone. I don't know. I wish I had my expensive Jimmy Garoppolo jersey I spent money on before going into the season, but that's at the new house we're moving into. So
you really bought a Jimmy jersey?
So before you hate on me, this was before the start of the season. This was back when we were like still very faithful.
I could have told you, man. I could have told you. I could have told you.
At least I didn't buy us a new jersey. I remember that video where you're like, maybe the two people who bought some new jerseys could return them for store credit once he got released. All right, at least my
maybe you can get store credit for that Jimmy G, or maybe you can just trade it for like 20% of a Trey Lance jersey.
I don't know. I wore a sleeve. I wore it for the Rams game where he had probably his best game. So maybe it's my good luck charm. I don't know. I'm looking for a Lance and Montana.
Maybe your Jimmy Garoppolo's good luck charm. Maybe you need to be wearing that more often.
Oh man, I'm just looking for a Lance and Montana jersey now, especially Montana.
Combo.
Oh yeah.
Man. I gotta take one more call, but thank you. You killed it. Appreciate it.
problem.
Have a great time in Cincinnati. You're the last call of the day, man. Let's take us out in style. How you doing?
Dude, how are you?
I'm great, man. Where are you calling from?
I'm literally across the bay from you. I'm calling from Burlingame. Do you remember? You know where Burlingame is?
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Do you remember a few months ago when you got that super chat that said, "Would you take Drew Lock for Jimmy G straight up?"
No, I don't.
All right. Well, that's me. It's you could like
okay. All right, sure.
You could go search it on YouTube. So
okay, for sure.
I am a Broncos fan, as you saw. Okay.
I like Drew Lock. What was my answer at the time, by the way?
You said, yeah, you would do it because obviously Drew.
I like Drew Lock.
Jimmy,
yeah.
You know. Yep. So
and now Drew Lock's on the block. All right, let's talk about it, man.
He's. It's not necessarily. I'm a Drew Lock fan. I want to put that out.
Me too. I like him.
So, but obviously, if crazy things happen, and the Broncos get Aaron Rodgers,
goodbye, Drew. Thank you.
Yes,
good luck.
Exactly. And if they don't, we run with Drew and Teddy. Like that's how it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is a Niners show, so you know. I mean, is there anybody who can run the football better than the 49ers at all?
I think not in the NFC.
No.
Not in the NFC.
Even the AFC. Like
I mean, Baltimore would be the only one. Baltimore's pretty good. J.K. Dobbins is decent.
Listen, yeah, I thought the Niners should have taken him. But hey, you know what? Look, they went back to Ohio State. They got Trey.
They did. Who I think I like just as much.
I wanted Trey.
Yeah.
Broncos got Javonte, so you know we're good there too. But like
that's
true. Got Trey, I really like Trey. Trey was my favorite back. You know, everyone has a guy like so.
I can see it, man. I mean, I watched a lot of Justin Fields, and every time I was like, I don't know about this guy. This running back is keeping him in every game, man.
I know.
Give me that running back. I'll look good.
But okay, well, I guess I want to give Niners fans perspective. Like we wanted Broncos fans wanted Trey. Like we didn't care. Like we knew there's gonna be QB competition this year. That's why Drew's just kind of chilling. That's why they got Teddy. But like when they got Teddy, it kind of took them out of the draft. Anyway, we wanted Trey to fall. Like I think Trevor Lawrence was probably the far and away best QB in this draft. I think Trey Lance is gonna have the best career of any quarterback in this draft. Like come on, like he can run, he can throw. Like he's with Kyle. Like what?
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence has to play for Urban Meyer, dude. Urban Meyer. Who's good at recruiting, not coaching.
I kind of like what Jacksonville's building, but like it's very like it's all preliminary. It's very early. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. That's I like to give New Orleans a kind of a reset. Like you give them benefit of the doubt. I know Balky's running it. Like that the top it's the cons. Like you get it. Like 49ers fans familiar with him. I get it.
Hold on, though. Let's come back to the original point because I thought it was interesting. Do you think that the Niners and the Broncos could pull off a Jimmy G for Drew Lock trade before the season starts or before the trade deadline?
Not anymore because of all the reasons you talk about, because Jimmy's making too much. Like, yeah, the Broncos have I think it's like $28 million cap. I think that's after they've signed their class. I'm not sure. But dude, that's going to Aaron. Like it's you know how he listed the three teams and it was like the Niners, the Raiders, and the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
And the Niners were, I mean, you probably heard this. There was a bunch of noise. Like the Niners just offered 3 straight up for him, and Packer were like, no. And then you look at the Raiders. Dude, the Raiders like gutted their entire offensive line. Like
why? Yeah, and why would Rodgers want to go there?
I think the only reason Aaron he named those 3 teams is because he wants to be closer to LA to play Jeopardy, and because his fiance is Shailene Woodley, so it's like. But if you look at like of those 3 teams, Who has the best weapons? Who's drafted 5 of them in the last 3 years? Denver Broncos.
Yep.
Who's drafted what? I think the stat was the last like skill position player Green Bay took was Aaron Rodgers in the first round. Like that is, I don't know if that's 100% true. In the first round, that is like,
wow,
that's defense.
That's and they always have a bad defense too. So what are they doing? Wow,
I don't understand Green Bay, man. Like I just don't.
As a Bronco fan, you're just like, yeah, it's great,
dude. I mean, like, man. I work with a Bears fan, and I work with a 49ers fan, and they're both like, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to Denver, and I'm like,
are you not paying attention,
guys? Come on,
you're not paying attention.
Look at the 3 teams like Aaron named. Look at the 3 teams he put out, and tell me who makes the Niners just committed to Trey.
Yep,
and Trey. They committed to Trey.
That's right.
Who cares about the Raiders? Like,
they don't matter.
No.
Yeah. No.
Look
and the Broncos,
like,
yeah.
Teddy's a backup. The Broncos made the Panthers eat money.
Yeah.
To get Teddy for
right.
6th. You know.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well,
my point was the Niners. I love what they did. I know Niners fans aren't always gonna love everything, but man, Trey, and who cares? You guys it'll be so much fun. Like I think Trey Lance could walk in and be better than Jimmy G day one and probably take the job. I don't think he will, you know, like I think, you know, like they're probably going to start Jimmy. Like Jimmy's probably even if Trey balls out in a preseason game. The fun part is the difference is if Trey goes, like he throws like 8 balls compared to like Jimmy's 8 balls, Trey's going to be like 6 of 8 for like 320 yards and like 3 touchdowns. And he'll like rush another 120 for a touchdown. And Jimmy could give you like 150 and like a TD and a couple picks, you know? So it's like, this is fun times to be a Niners fan. You know, this is the ascent and it's like, it's going to be quick. Like, I would not be shocked to see you guys run all the way back to the SC championship game this year.
Yeah, no maybe it'll be Niners and Broncos in the Super Bowl.
Maybe depending on if one, you know, certain Green Bay franchise quarterback ends up moving.
Yeah, as much as I like Drew Lock, I don't think he's going to make that happen this year. Hey, have a great day in Burlingame, man.
Cheers, Greg.
Thanks for calling in, man. Cheers.
Take care.
All right. Real quick, Alejandro says day 2 was a reach. Asante Samuel Jr. at 43 could have traded up to get the 3rd for Aaron Banks. Trey Sermon could have fell at 103. Hey, maybe, man. I don't know. That's a good point. I don't know. I like the draft. Grant, you were calling for the Niners to just draft a quarterback all offseason. They went young and vivacious. Was this what you had in mind in January? Yeah, absolutely. I liked it. I think I can hear you now. You there?
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Can you hear me now? All right, you can?
I can, yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Great. The one thing I wanted to make a great draft. You know, they got the Batmobile of quarterbacks, Trey Lance, super stoked for that. The one thing that I think nobody's really talking about right now is that I was hoping that they would flip some of those picks this year and turn them into draft picks next year because that cupboard is bare next year.
That would have been smart.
So if you look at it, let's just assume that they're that they make the playoffs this year. They only have original 2nd round pick and a compensatory 3rd round pick. So if they make the playoffs, they're not going to have any picks in the top 50. And regardless of where they finish, they're only going to have 1 pick in the top 100 spots in the draft. Like that's a bare cupboard because you can't trade compensatory picks up. So it's going to be really difficult for them to move into that top 100 spot because of the Trey Lance pick. In fact, Mostert only has 1 year left on his deal. I think they've got to move Mostert at some point before the draft. And I think you need to play Jimmy as long as they can to try to get whatever value they can for him. Because that cupboard is bare, man. They're going to have to do something. Like otherwise, they're staring down the barrel of a gun next year. So my question:
they got to find a way to get a 1st round pick.
Not even a 1st round, just a 3rd,
2nd,
or a 2nd, just something. It's something. There's it's tough for them. So what I think Raheem Mostert? Like, do you think they get a second or a third or a fourth, or who would be in the market for Mostert right now? Because I think he's the only guy really, without selling any of those, Kittles or Warners or whoever. I think he's the only one that's got trade value, that's a provable commodity that could be moved realistically.
I don't know how much value Raheem Mostert really has. I mean, he's a running back who's had injury issues. He's not young. He's really good, but is he more valuable in a trade than Jimmy Garoppolo? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's similar. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems to me if they want to trade, maybe that's why they're holding on to Jimmy Garoppolo and they want to start him, because that potentially could be a trade chip. It's just not one now.
They need something though, because as everybody's having a great time, everybody's doing a victory lap for this draft. They're kicking the can down the road, and it's going to be ugly next year if they don't do.
No question, they got to do something. Yeah, good point. I'm glad I got you on, man. We third time's a charm.
Hey, thanks for giving me third time's a charm. That's right.
Of course, man. Have a good one. All right, man. Dude, I seen you waiting. I wasn't gonna let you. Sorry about that. So let's do it. But you're the last one.
All right, I'll go quick. I know you're
all right.
Okay, first question.
Yes.
This question about Trey Lance. I feel like the narrative has kind of changed. A few months ago, everyone was saying like, he's too raw. He's only had one season. He's young. He's gonna need like a whole year to develop in the NFL. But now people are saying like, he could beat out Jimmy G like week 1. So what do you think? Like, why do you think people have shifted their perspective like that?
I don't know. Probably because they got to know him a little bit better, and they've heard Kyle Shanahan talk about him, and they've heard how smart he is. And I think part of the reason it's so tough for rookies to start right away for Shanahan's offense is the plays are like 20 to 25 words long. So it's a lot of memorization. It's not like you don't have to be smart. You just have to memorize a ton of stuff. And I think that would be hard. I would have a tough time memorizing all those words and making it like second nature. But everyone says that he's like great at that kind of stuff. So if he can do that physically, he can execute everything. He could take the job right away.
Right. I feel like part of it is also the fact that he came to the 49ers because people were just thinking like he would have trouble starting off. But I mean, now he has Kyle Shanahan, George Kittle, the run game, all that. He could be more successful.
Mm-hmm.
And then
that's true. He doesn't have to throw that much. He can throw off play action. He doesn't have to convert a bunch of third downs with his arm. He can build up to that. They can bring Jimmy in for third and 5. Jimmy, you're on the field. Everything else, you're out.
Okay, and then I also saw that we still have like 18 million in cap. So I was wondering, like, what do you think we're gonna do with that? Like, are we gonna maybe try to re-sign Richard Sherman or try to do something else?
Oh God, I hope they don't re-sign Richard Sherman. Man.
Yeah, I don't know.
But no, I think there's going to be a second wave of free agency after June 1.
Right.
And they're going to be in a position to make some moves. So yes, I think there's going to be something that they can do. And again, I mean, we don't know what the future holds for Jimmy Garoppolo. If they ever move him or cut him, if they cut him after June 1, that's $24 million in cap space they have right there.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and then just real quick, which running backs do you think are going to make it on the team at the end?
Okay. I think it's going to be Mostert, Mostert, Wilson, Sermon, Mitchell. Those 4. I think Gallman will be out and Hasty will be on the practice squad.
Okay.
Gallman didn't get any guaranteed money, so he's going to have to be good, or the other guys are going to have to get hurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, that's all I got. Yeah, just wanted. Thank you for having me on. Hey, appreciate the work you've done.
Of course.
Of
course, man. Thanks for coming on. I wasn't gonna have you be the one guy who waited for an hour and a half and got turned down. Like I wasn't gonna do it. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
appreciate you. Yeah. All right, man. Thanks everyone. I got everyone today. I am done. I got to meet up with the all 49ers writers for the first time. I've never met these guys in real life except for Jose. So I'm taking them out this afternoon. So got to put up some videos, meet up with them in 2 hours. And then maybe I'll get a nap at some point. I'll be back later on. Take care, everyone. Thank you. Congratulations on a good draft, I think.